Episode 2, Cognitive Overhead. So, you know that feeling where everything feels like too much? Not really because the tasks are hard or that anything catastrophic happened. It just feels harsher than it should. You feel little, out of control, kind of like you'd give anything just to lay down and be done for the day. And the worst part is you really can't explain it. You don't know what went wrong. You just know something did, and you're in your feelings. That feeling has a name, and it is not a weakness. I'm Darian, and this is Head First. Let's talk about cognitive overhead, what it actually is, why it tips into overload, and what I actually do about it. Here's the distinction I wish someone had told me earlier. Cognitive overhead is basically the background processing your brain is running at all times. Before you do a task, you're thinking about how you do it, how you break it down. It's kind of a pain sometimes. You have unresolved things you're holding, emotional regulation, just existing under pressure. It's always there. It's basically the cost of operating. Overload is what happens when that cost exceeds what you have left. Everyone has overhead, and everyone has experienced overload. The problem isn't that it exists. The problem is when it fills the tank and spills over into everything else. For me, it shows up in a very specific way. My gears are always turning. That's just how I'm built. But some afternoons, usually around 4 p.m., I'm just done. My brain hurts. I'm tired in a way that sleep doesn't fully explain. I'm trying to read something and it won't click. I'm reaching for text to speech. I close my eyes, try to just absorb it anyway. Thinking strategically, making fast decisions, that tank is empty. And I still have at least an hour left in the day. And for a long time, I did not have a name for that. I thought I just kind of hit a wall. I thought that was something that I was going to be just having to deal with chronic pain. Overhead really isn't the task, it's the cost of showing up to that task. And then when it's higher than your available resources, it's not a character flaw, it's overload. And that overload has causes that you can actually look at. Here's the part that took me a little bit longer than it should have to kind of believe. People will tell you that you're one of a kind and then hand you the same system as everyone else. Every single productivity framework, every habit tracker, every time blocking method, they were designed for a particular type of person, what they consider normal, what they consider a baseline for themselves. It was designed for someone who woke up consistently just like the day before. When that doesn't work, the assumption is that you didn't try hard enough. You weren't disciplined enough. You just need to want it more. Have you tried just doing it? Have you tried really just trying? Have you tried not being sad? Have you tried not being overloaded? It's basically feeling like handing someone a hammer when they need a jigsaw and then blaming them for how bad the cut came out, if the cut came out at all. The system didn't fail you because you were undisciplined. It failed you because it assumed that you were a certain way, that you were fine, you were normal. It assumed your afternoon was looking the exact same as your morning. And if you planned your day, then you're to blame too. Your processes and systems are blamed. You assumed, or it assumed, that yesterday's version of you is going to be able to show up consistently every day. And you're never going to get tired. You're never going to have that off day. I have to improve things around me as much as I can so that I'm not blaming myself for not doing a good job when I wasn't even supporting myself in the first place. That's the reframe. You weren't doing it wrong. You were just using the wrong tool. So here's what helped me. I am going to be specific because vague advice is useless when you're already overwhelmed. The first thing, the KISS method. Keep it simple, stupid. I mean that. It sounds funny and silly, but it works. And remind yourself about this as much as you possibly can. I have been guilty of building very elaborate systems, folders, subfolders, sub-subfolders, and then completely abandoning it because it took more energy to maintain than it saved me. The more complicated the system, the faster you leave it. And that's not a you problem, it's a design problem. You're not going to have the perfect system for a long time. So do not think that you can set it up in one afternoon. And that's okay. That works. You learn what you need as you go, basically. And you change as a person. So what worked for you yesterday might not work in a few months. So being able to implement a system where it has that flex to where you can change it over time is really important and really beneficial. The thing that made an amazing, big actual difference for me was a small morning check-in I built into my setup. One command. I use AI, of course. I run it, and what comes back is a daily briefing. It contains my daily focus, my tasks, things I've been avoiding, my calendar, key dates coming up. It puts it all together for me into a single note, and that is my daily assistant, basically. I appreciate and love it so much. I don't have to think about how everything connects first thing in the morning or at the end of the afternoon to plan for tomorrow. I don't have to piece together what I was doing yesterday. It's already done. And at the bottom, I have my daily notes section. It's mine just for the day. It's where I track what actually happened, what I need to carry forward, what I want morning me to know tomorrow. That might sound small, and it really, really isn't. That few minutes now that used to be a lot longer and a lot more effort, a lot more cognitive overhead. It isn't. It's offloading a whole layer of thinking before I've done anything else. Then in midday, if things start to go sideways, I don't have to spiral. I can look for the cracks. What went wrong? What did I need that I didn't get? Have I eaten? Have I had a break? Have I been in back to back meetings since 9 a.m. and now it's 3 p.m.? What is the actual issue that I'm facing? Because here's what I know about myself. I personally am not always guaranteed a good afternoon. So, morning Darian takes care of the afternoon Darian. I plan for my worst self, not because I'm pessimistic, but because when the hard afternoon shows up, I want something already in place for her. I stopped trying to be consistent. I started trying to be sustainable. My brain isn't broken. Your brain isn't broken. The benchmark is. What you're comparing it to is the broken part. If systems you've tried haven't worked, it is worth asking whether they were built for variability, your variability, because most of them aren't. They're built for a version of you that shows up at the same time every day. That version doesn't exist for most people on any consistent basis. Start simple. Build for the day when everything's difficult. And the next time you feel a little overwhelmed and like everything's out of your hands, ask what you needed that you didn't get. That question is so useful and can be applied in any productivity framework I have ever tried. If this is something anyone is interested in learning more about, I can totally go over it more. If this is something that I should build out and give to other people, I can give you my system, but it might not work for you like I've covered in this entire podcast. You are free to message me anytime you want. I'm Darian Glauser, and this is Head First.